Welcome to the Without the Bank podcast, where you and I are going to talk about all things IBC, the business of banking, utilizing money correctly, and how it will help you grow your business and your wealth. No fluff, folks, no fluff. Today, we are talking about where do I find the money to get started? You know, I recently had a comment on a Facebook ad that I have running from somebody that read the book and said, "This is a great concept if you have money." Well, let me tell you, this is a great concept for anybody. Where do we get the money to get started is always the question. Everybody thinks, well, I don't have the money. This is just for the wealthy because they already have the money that they can put in the policy. Let me allow you to get in on a little secret. The people with all the money say, oh, this is for everybody else, not me. I don't need this. I already have money, right? So everybody thinks it's for everybody else. This is exactly why people have meetings with me. If you've read the book, you get an hour and a half free consultation with me so that we can sit down and talk about where do we have the money? Do we have the money to start? And we are going to look at everything that you're doing in your business. Where is your money going? And there are times that people don't have the money to get started, but setting up that appointment and us talking about what you have going on is going to help us figure out what do we need to do in the future so that we can get started? Or what do we need to do right now so that we can start in the future? Do we have some sort of business equipment that's going to be paid off? Do we have a payment that's coming to an end? Do we have a credit card that's going to get paid off? Are we paying too much money in taxes? What are all of these things that we're doing in our business or even in your personal life that you can get started? You guys, there are times where I meet with people that are making $200,000 a year, not business owners, just 8 to 5 employees making a couple $100,000 a year, and they don't have money in savings. They don't have a lot of excessive income. Like one would think, right? We think just because somebody has money, they should be able to get started. Well, we should never assume anything. And some of these people, they're spending too much money on living expenses. So by us sitting down, I can say, where is all that money going? Can you look at your budget? Can you see where that money is going? Can we redirect some of those dollars somewhere along the way? That now we have access to those and we can use those to start a policy. Did we pay off a car? Do we need another car? If you are a business owner and you have a fleet of vehicles, when one vehicle is, maybe your lease is up, do we need to keep leasing? Can we purchase a vehicle and put more miles on them? So many of us believe nowadays that, we have 100,000 miles on a vehicle and we need to sell it. We need to get another vehicle when vehicles can easily go 300,000 miles. Where is money going that doesn't need to go there? Are we paying cash for things? Did we buy a vehicle with cash? Did we buy tools with cash? Did we buy office equipment with cash? What are we doing with our cash? And many people will say, well, I don't have any payments. But I keep when I'm done buying everything and I have extra, then I'll stick it in the policy. Well, then we'd probably never start. Nobody would, right? It's about thinking differently and redirecting some of those dollars. Don't be so quick to say, oh, this isn't for me because I don't have any money today. Like I said, there are plenty of clients that I meet with that we can't start today. And I have met with clients that literally have nothing. But guess what? It was not a waste of my time because now they have a plan. so that in a year or 2 years from now, we can start something. They have a different thought process around money. So when money comes in, we're not treating it the same way that we did before. This is not for ultra wealthy people. This is not for people that have everything already. This is for people that want to get away from the banking system. And assuming that it's not for you without setting up a meeting is sort of the arrival syndrome. You think it's just not going to work, right? You think that you've got it all figured out, and this is what it is. If you are interested in the concept because you purchased the book and you can see that it's a good thing, but it's just maybe not right for you, how do you know that when you're not the expert in the matter? You've read the book. If you've only read my book, then go to Nelson's book and keep educating yourself on the concept. I am not the only one that wrote a book on this concept. So make sure that you continue educating. Make sure you continue listening to the podcasts on these topics. I also have my Farming Without the Bank podcast. There are 80 some episodes over there at the moment. And there are going to be a lot of things that are farm related, but it doesn't matter if you're buying farm equipment with it, or if you're buying business equipment with it, or if you're just using it as savings for retirement, if you're buying vacation homes. It absolutely does not matter. You can send kids to college. We can do all of those things through the policy. They operate the same. So many people think, well, I can't do this because she doesn't have a strategy in there to show me what it would look like for my business or my life. Just replace whatever it is in the book, in my book or in Nelson's book, replace that with something from your life. It's going to work exactly the same. So the moral, this is a very, very short podcast, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. Do not discredit what you're doing. If you have been taught to do one thing for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, you've been taught to think one way. Don't think that you have the answer if you read the book and we have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of indoctrination to the current way of financial thinking. Don't think that that's going to all be erased after reading this book one time. It takes clients years of working with me and asking me questions and running strategies to understand how this is going to apply to them, when to use it, why to use it. All those questions are answered. What do my numbers look like? All those questions are answered. So don't just give up and say, you know what, this isn't good. It's a great strategy, not for me. It might not be for some, but how do you know it's not you if we don't really truly have all the answers? And this, I don't mean for this whole podcast to be a, hey, call Mary Jo podcast. That is not the intent. The intent is really for you to get out of your own way and say, okay, I'll give her an hour and a half of time. See if it really is for me. See if it really is going to work for me. Do I have the money or not? Or how do I prepare? If you really want to make a change, you will figure out how to make that change. There are lots of books. There are lots of podcasts on this subject. Educate yourself. Educate yourself, because the one thing that you may think is no big deal is the one thing that we can use for you to start a policy. And you don't need $50,000, $100,000. You don't even need $20,000 to get started. If you are under 30 years old, we can do like $5,000 to $8,000. If you're in your 20s, we could do $3,000 a year. It doesn't have to be massive. Sometimes it's just about getting started. It would be like saying, well, I never have money to go out to eat, so I'm never going to go out to eat. Well, guess what? You find the money to go out to eat. You find the money for beer, right? You find the money for the things that you really want. How badly do you want it? Reread the book, and it's going to help you understand really Every single time you read the book, it's going to help you understand more and more and more and get through that thought process that we've been so ingrained to think. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you want to hear something, please email me at maryjo@withoutthebank. If you have not gotten the book yet, Life Without the Bank, please go to withoutthebank.com and you can grab your Life Without the Bank book. And it's on sale right now. If you're listening to this new podcast, it is on sale. And you can also grab Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash. The two of those together are phenomenal purchases for you and phenomenal information for you to help you understand really what is this crazy lady trying to teach us. Okay, you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next podcast.